Jett Lawrence, the champion. Well, I'm sure you think in your head what this must feel like beforehand, but when you actually cross the finish line, you're like, I did it. Like, what are the first thoughts that cross through your mind?
It's kind of hard because you obviously think of what the feeling is. Once you get across, it's like you don't know how to act because you don't get the feeling a lot, So it's a bit of a weird feeling at first because you're like, how do I react? Like I'm pumped, but like kind of.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think once it really sets in after a couple of days for me. I've always kind of been happy about it, but like I think it really sets in for me like mentally is a day after or the Monday. So, but no, it definitely feels good.
This title is kind of considered the pinnacle of the sport, so does it actually feel like a bit different than every championship you won before this?
Yes and no. I mean, a championship is a championship for me. So obviously I want to win as many as I can, and but I mean, at some point it's going to feel a little different, and I mean, I think I'll feel that tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I know I kind of asked you this in the press conference yesterday, but now that your first full season on a 450 is done, is it kind of just crazy to look back and be like, damn, I did all that?
Yeah, I mean, as a rookie, I mean, I was up there with Jeremy Grath and Chad Reed was something. I think I tied with Chad Reed, so a fellow Aussie, which is cool. But yeah, it's definitely cool to look back on the year I had this year and even last year with outdoors. It's unreal.
How weird is it that you're going to run the one for like a year straight at least now? There's no 18 on the bike for a while.
I know, it's going to be wild. Hopefully we can keep it there for a while. Fingers crossed.
Just take me through like kind of the emotions of that main event, because you're in a position where you're trying to win the title. You don't know where Vial is. You want to win the race, and just how that was going in your head.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously as a racer and a guy that's won a championship already, I mean, the goal is to win another championship, but you got to look back at it, and second year racing Supercross. I'm 18, plenty of time going against RJ, Smitty, those dudes. I mean, Vial, I mean, dude, he's 23. I'd say those dudes Vial has 5 years on me. I mean, Smitty, they have 10 years on me. So it's like Smitty and RJ. I mean, I just got to look at it as we got time. We're gonna keep learning, keep doing the best we can. And I mean, I feel like we're going upward. Last year got some podiums in Supercross. This year now I have 3 wins. Like, if you told me I was going to win an East-West shootout too, I'd be like, hell yeah, that's sick. So we got the East-West shootout in. That's awesome. That was my goal today. And I came into this race, I was just like, it was almost like I have nothing to lose really, so I was just going to have as much fun as I could, and that's what I did, Came in laughing, messing around, and pulled the whole shot, led the whole race from there, man. Led every lap, had Smitty coming up on me for a little bit, and yeah, I obviously going to block the line, and he ran into my rear wheel and fell. He did the same thing he did at what's around last year, Detroit. Ran in my rear wheel and fell. I'm like, dude, why'd you do that again? Whatever. I mean, I guess that's why he's a clash for 10 years, maybe.
You and Vial kind of had a weird back and forth today, and he looked maybe a little rattled in the heat race, kind of in the main event as well. Do you feel like that was what you were trying to do, put a little more extra pressure on him for tonight?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're coming to the last round. I mean, I'm 15 points behind. Like, I'm going to mess with him. I feel like it's my specialty. I like messing with people. I mean, I have dudes on my team that are, Webb, known for playing mind games and stuff, so I feel like I got that part pretty down. I mean, you guys seen in the heat race, he barely qualified, was getting passed. I mean, looks like he was shook a little, was going off the track here and there. And then even in the main, I mean, he obviously did what he had to do, but he won the title. He won it straight up against me. I mean, I came into the season a little, whatever, injured or whatever you could say, but I lost it.
Just tell me, is that the best you've felt all year? Because you were really good the entire main event, your fitness was strong, and you hung on to Chase the whole time.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say just because I got P2 it was my best race of the year, but it really was. And it started out with a hole shot that put me in a good position. I knew I had good speed tonight, felt good on the bike, and track really was coming around for me. So it was just clicked off my laps, and my focus was really good. Was able to have a little bit of gap to third, and I knew my teammate was behind me. I knew I ride with him all the time, so it kind of gave me a little bit more comfort with him there. And yeah, just was clicking off my laps. The pace was definitely high, and there was no settling. I think we saw that. So everyone, in the top 5 was really going for it, and started to spread out there at the end, which was nice. I could settle a little bit, but still the guys are hot on my heels. So yeah, overall just really pumped. This is a long time coming. It feels good after 16 rounds of missing the podium to end it like this and to move on to outdoors.
Aside from that crazy Jett guy, you were the top rookie this year. So does it coming into the season and knowing where you were and your expectations, does this feel like, yeah, I had a good rookie season, I can feel satisfied with it?
Yeah, I think if I am second rookie, that's pretty good, because the first rookie won the championship. So yeah, he's definitely riding really well, and yeah, it was a really good year for me. Was able to finish up 6th, I think, in the championship, and definitely started it out slow, missed the main in the mud, and it's been an up and down year, man. So we were definitely trending in the right direction towards the end there, and yeah, just really stoked to end it like this.
Dude, you were really fast in the main event, probably the fastest guy on the track. Did it just like, what clicked? Like, what felt better overall today, throughout the main event, start, everything like kind of was just better Jordon again?
Yeah, we went back to a setting that I was on pretty much all off season and at one point during the season this year as well. We had kind of got away from that, trying to fix some other stuff, and just lost some comfort and front end traction stuff. And after last week, I think I tucked the front 3 times in one day. And this off season, like, I was completely over that, you know, it wasn't even a thought. Like, I was never tucking the front. The last month in practice, I've tucked the front every day. And you would think that would be a sign to just say, hey, let's go back. But I never, I just kept, thinking like, oh, it's just me, whatever. So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer that I didn't kind of make that decision before now. But no, it was good. I felt great all day. I mean, from like the first lap of press, like, I felt really good. Like, I charged. Like, you can tell whenever you're comfortable or you're not comfortable sometimes out there. Like, if you only want to do like 1 lap and then you like want to do a roll lap, then you're probably not very comfortable. But like, if you're just doing lap after lap, like in press day and stuff, like, you're way more comfortable. And that's how I felt all weekend.
Obviously with Haiden in the main event, you were gaining on him in the whoops every single lap, but it kind of kept putting you on the outside. Like, did you think about changing your lineup in the whoops specifically, or were you trying to find a different spot to pass him? Like, how were you reading that whole time?
Yeah, it was tough because like, my best line in the whoops was all the way down the right side. And I knew all night that was going to be kind of a problem of trying to make passes, because you can only hit them so fast. And if someone else hits them pretty good, like, you can't make a passer on the outside, And especially, like, I know how Hayden's going to battle, like, whenever he's in the lead. Like, you're not going around the outside of him. So I knew that I needed to try and get to the inside of him. It was just so tough coming out of that 90-degree turn before to get to that left side. And then, yeah, I made a run down the right side. I got stood up by him and kind of backed off for a couple laps. Not for a couple laps, but backed off, kind of reset. It's like, okay, like, this is how we're going to, battle. And, yeah, I made a run there through the whoops that lap. He kind of got a little sketchy, and I had a good run up the inside. And, yeah, I kind of went for a pass and maybe didn't go hard enough. I also, I wasn't trying to take him out or anything. Like, he was leading, and that's what he needed to do to try and win the championship. We're on the same team. I'm not going to try and take him out. So our bikes got stuck together. Looking back on it, maybe I should have just went in a little harder. Maybe I should have backed off. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it and see. But, yeah, we only had a few laps to go, so it was kind of running out of time a little bit. I felt really good. I was pushing hard all night, like you said, and yeah, it's just really bummed how it turned out there. But also glad that I got up quick and was able to make a pass on Joe. That was for 3rd in the championship, which, there's no bonus or anything for that, but it's still just, nice to get that 3rd and show that still there.
Take me through the main event for you, first of all, because you obviously had to go through the LCQ. You didn't get off the gate like probably as you would have liked to in the main event, but then you find yourself battling with Max, which was kind of for 3rd in the championship. You had Pierce behind you. Like, how did you kind of manage your own emotions during that?
I think I used up all my good starts, because I had a great start in the heat and then a great start in LCQ. Yeah, I just tried to get another good start, and yeah, I used up all my good starts. So came from last and fought my way through, and I knew I was faster than Max. I just couldn't make a clean pass because I'm not going to ride him dirty. He's never rode me dirty, so out of respect. And then, yeah, I had a gift with when him and Seth came together, and then Pierce was coming, and I was like, dude, like, you need to go. Even though I don't get anything out of this for 3rd place in the championship, like, it's still cool on paper.
Yeah.
And I saw old man Phil in front of me, and I was like, God, I want to beat the old man. And, well, I can say that I never got to beat Phil. So props to him. He had a killer career, but, yeah, crazy night for us to go through the LCQ. It was the only LCQ I had to go to this year. I mean, last year I was known for all my LCQs. This year I only had one. It was the final round, and I won it. So a lot of positives to take out from this season, and it's been killer.
given how much of a whirlwind your offseason was, if you go back to, say, early December, and someone says, hey, man, you're going to finish third in the championship, what would you have said to them?
Honest words, you're fucking crazy. No, seriously, I wanted to be a 7 to 10 guy. I told Club that, so that's my goal for this season. And then, riding with Garrett and Phil and J Mart, they all helped me get better. Just riding with them, just at that caliper, closing down the gap. Because, previous team I was on, I was 2 seconds a lap slower than those guys every single lap. And I come onto the club bike, and I'm talking about a tenth, maybe half a second.
Yeah.
And I was proving that I can be a top 5 guy. And, at the practice track, anybody can believe that, right? But it's one thing to show up for the race.
Yeah.
I showed up this year. The second session in qualifying, I was 5th fastest. That's the best I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I was 6th overall for East Coast. And this year itself has been a stepping stone for me.
Yeah.
Just goes to show that I can be that guy, and I just want to keep progressing. Will I plateau at some point? I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. But I'm in a much better spot now, and I love it. I love the team. I love my environment, and it goes to show that anything is possible.
Last Supercross, so let's start with that. You get to go out and do a little parade lap. You and AC get your own little thing. Was it kind of cool to have that moment and just be able to kind of soak it in one more time like that?
Yeah, it's one I'd like to thank whether it was Prater or Mui, whoever okayed that for me to do that. It means a lot. Like I said, I was just a dumbass kid from New York, and to be able to make it finally to the pinnacle, to see what I've done through my career. Not that I've done a lot. I don't think I've done a lot, but other people think I've done okay. It means a lot to me, and to end the night with a 10th and one of my best main events actually I've ridden in a long time, and made me feel pretty good. So my tank's empty for Supercross, and I'm really looking forward to outdoors. But it was an emotional week, just with the press conference and everything, and even at 35, stuff like that's still pretty stressful on me. So it's still means a lot.
Yeah. So today overall was better for you, and you said you emptied the tank, as it were. Is that how it felt? Like I'm going to throw everything at this as I possibly can.
My first 10 laps, 10 minutes of that main, it was just it's everything I had in me to put down laps and ride with Hymas and keep Swole behind me, and it was just that's all I had, And took some extra risks where I normally wouldn't, and it actually felt really good. And to do it in the East-West Shootout, to be top 10 in Nashville and top 10 this weekend, it shows I've still got some balls, you know what I mean? But all good things come to an end. But I lived my dream. I was able to do it inside a stadium and be super competitive. And like I said, I'm just an average Joe from New York. To do it means a lot.
LCQ winner, so you got to feel a little bit of the lead and take a checkered flag out front. That must have felt nice, right?
Oh, it felt good. Honestly, rode good all day. Best qualifying of the year, 18th. And then heat race, I thought I was 7th. My mechanic, the way he wrote the 1, looked like a 7 when, you're barely glancing over, riding by. So, I didn't really push too hard against Mookie, which, looking back, I wish I did. But good start in the LCQ, led every lap, which was cool. Actually rode a lot better in it because I thought it was going to be a muddy mess, and it was probably the best track all day. So happy with that. And then main event was, whatever, but happy to be in it.
Well, going through the LCQ, like you said, after the rain delay thing, you were one of the few people that got to see the track in that state. Did you feel like you were able to use that to your advantage in the main event because you saw stuff that maybe other guys didn't?
Not really. I think after the full 250 main, it kind of got back to what it was. It was still better than the heat races and end of practice, but it broke down quite a bit. So I don't think it helped too much.
Yeah. So you said this is the best you felt all year. What specifically do you think you could point to that just worked today for you?
Honestly, I changed my handlebars at 5 p.m. on Friday on a whim.
What bend are we going with now?
I was on the Champ Bend ODI, and I went to the McGrath.
Okay.
A little bit straighter, more like the 996s that I was on last year. And honestly, I felt good with them, and it was a good night. So
take me through your race a little bit, because it was a little bit up and down. You were right there with them, and then you kind of faded, and you kind of got back in the mix a little bit, right? So
Yeah, it was gnarly. We were we were pretty much the end of the day show, so right after 450C qualifying number 2. So track was pretty hammered. Track was rough, and then they didn't really water it, so it was pretty dusty. Had an okay start, and then maybe I went into second, and then me and Drew kind of got really close in the whoops on the first lap, and then I tried to stay with him for a little bit, and then he started gapping a little bit, and Cole ended up getting around me, and then the same lap Drew ended up falling and making a mistake. I lost a lot of time to Cole, and with that I lost a lot of time to the lead right then. So, and then from then just kind of rode a little bit more conservative, I would say, just a little bit more cautious. Definitely spooked me a little bit. I had a big moment on the 3-on. Just it was dry. I don't know if I just spun a little bit. It was just an odd deal, and ended a little bit, but all good. Happy leaving healthy. Not sure what my plan is from here on out, but I got a lot of good people in my corner and helping me out, so I can't thank them enough.
given that every other Futures race this year has been during the night show, did it feel a little bit difficult to like up the intensity right away because it's still day and right after qualifying like that?
No, honestly, I think it was a little bit easier because of just like it was pretty consistent. Like it was like every 2 hours you were on the track, so it wasn't like you had that big 4 or 5 or like 3-4 hour period where you were not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, but the track was also pretty brutal. The tracks have been brutal all year, but this one just dry, slick, and it was pretty gnarly.